What is up, guys? Slump here, and today I am bringing you yet another 2017 NFL season preview. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Cleveland Browns. Now, I'm not going to be that high on the Cleveland Browns, come on man. I'm not going to go out of my way and say this team has a legitimate shot at the playoffs. However, I do like what they're trying to do with this team. You know, last draft they came out with a king's ransom instead of just coming away with Myles Garrett and a player like Mitch Trubisky. Instead, they came away with 3 first-rounders and their future quarterback in DeShone Kizer. Well done, Cleveland. Now, the key positions I actually like on this team are the offensive line and the defensive line. Now, the defensive line won't be a top 5 defensive line this year or maybe even next year, but they definitely will get to that point one day. Now, with the offensive line, they're already top 5. I mean, you got solid veterans on this line. You guys picked up J.C. Treader from the Green Bay Packers, picked up Kevin Zeitler from the Cincinnati Bengals. You guys still have Joe Thomas, Joel Bitonio, and John Greco. The one player I do hate on this offensive line though is Cameron Irving. He can't block to save his life. Replace him in this offensive line might even be top 2. The receiving core, the Cleveland Browns really do need a true number 1. We saw what happened with Terrell Pryor last year. He did good, okay? He did great. We all know how great Josh Gordon could be if he just stays off the weed. But right now, are you telling me any of these guys can produce as much as they did? No. Kenny Britt just balled out in his contract year. Getting him this fat deal with the Cleveland Browns, in my opinion, was a bad signing. Corey Coleman, who showed some promise in the first couple of games in the NFL season, then fell off drastically. I think this man is just regressing rapidly. I don't think he's going to be that great. I expect the Cleveland Browns to toss a ton of money at Alshon Jeffrey next season if he does end up leaving the Philadelphia Eagles. But yeah, they need to invest in the receiving core right now. The quarterbacks. You all know that this man, Brock Osweiler, is named starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I don't buy that at all. All I think they're trying to do is build up his trade value and then ultimately ship him and allow one of the younger guys in DeShone Kizer or Cody Kessler to start the season. In my opinion, DeShone Kizer, yeah, he's the best quarterback on this roster. He will have the most success with this Cleveland Browns team. However, for this year, man, I'm just saying, take it slow, okay? Because as Joe Thomas said, and even he agreed, he is not ready as of right now. He needs some time to adjust, and he will eventually be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns by year's end, or maybe even at the beginning of next season. Either way, he is the future savior for the Cleveland Browns. Now let's talk about the running backs. Isaiah Crowell, a solid running back. Duke Johnson, a great third down back. But listen, guys, okay, these guys' stats won't be ridiculous this season because, as we know, if the Cleveland Browns continue to be terrible, what's going to happen is they're going to have to stop running the ball in the fourth quarter, and that's going to limit their stats. Yeah, their offensive line can be as great as they want, but if they don't stay in games, they're going to have some trouble running the ball. The tight ends, I'm fine with, okay? David Njoku, you guys drafted in the first round, has a ton of potential. I mean, Jimmy Graham potential. Now, the cornerback's a position of weakness. You guys have a bunch of old guys, and then you have Howard Wilson. I don't trust this cornerback core at all. The secondary is probably the weakest spot on this defense, and it will cost this team a ton of games. You know, when it comes to your safeties, the only 2 guys that stick out to me are Calvin Pryor and Jabril Peppers. Jabril Peppers had himself a nice little game last night, but Calvin Pryor, man, he's on a contract year. Let's hope he can actually ball out and earn a contract extension with the Cleveland Browns. Now let's talk about the defensive line. Do I really have to say much about Myles Garrett and Emmanuel Ogbah? Not really. I do like Larry Ogunjobi and Carl Nassib, as well as Danny Shelton. This defensive line is filled with youngins, and once they develop together, man, quarterbacks better be wary. Now, in terms of the linebackers, I only like 2, okay? Jamie Collins and Christian Kirksey. Who else should I like on this team? Who? Nobody. Exactly. The middle linebacker is a position of weakness for this team. Hopefully they can improve on that in the near future. But all in all, man, I'm telling you, the receivers, weak. Cornerbacks, weak. Middle linebacker, weak. I'd like to see some depth at the tight end position. But all in all, this team does have a ton of pieces they can move forward with. It's just that they need to get the new pieces in immediately for this team to be successful within the next 2 seasons. I'm really hoping Hugh Jackson can turn this ship around. And with that being said, let's look at the schedule breakdown I have for you guys in my official 2017 prediction for the Cleveland Browns. You know, a 3-3 record is not generous at all, and honestly, this team can go 6-10. However, man, I'm not willing to bet on this team just yet, especially with the uncertainty at what they're going to do with the quarterback position. You know, the couple games you guys can win that can boost your record overall would be obviously to sweep the Ravens, to split with the Cincinnati Bengals, to beat the Chicago Bears at Chicago, which should be manageable depending on how y'all play that week. Jacksonville, obviously. But the NFC North Division, man, I'm sorry, but the best you guys are going to go against them is going to be 1-3. Matthew Stafford will dot that defense up. We all know that. The Minnesota Vikings, way too much to handle for any of these quarterbacks. So 1-3 is most likely. The AFC South, man, best case scenario, 2-2, depending on if Andrew Luck actually misses the Week 3 game against the Cleveland Browns. And obviously the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that really has no quarterback, that's in a worse situation than you, because at least you guys have your future quarterback, and you can add these smaller pieces as the years go on, but they really don't have a quarterback at all. You can have all the pieces they want, but if you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to win in the National Football League. And obviously the 6 games against the AFC North, like I said, man, 3-3 is the best case scenario in this division. I could potentially see you guys sweeping the Baltimore Ravens and ultimately splitting with, let's say, the Cincinnati Bengals. So yeah, guys, that is my season preview for the Cleveland Browns. If you enjoyed this video at all, make sure to leave a like, and most importantly, subscribe if you are new. Leave your predictions down below. And yeah, guys, with that being said, have a good one. Peace out.